not be working like this. I work my ass off and I can't even fucking pay bills, bro. And they always say don't compare yourself to others, but I see people going to Coachella and fucking like buying all types of shit, just pointless fuck you money, and I'm over here can't even fucking pay my fucking rent, bro.
What I'm about to say is probably going to make cutting out Starbucks or starving is going.
Now tell me, with all of that, what exactly did the vote deliver for African Americans? Black unemployment runs roughly twice the white rate. Always under Reagan, under Clinton, under Bush, under Obama, under Trump, under Biden, and under Trump again. The ratio doesn't move. The ratio does not respond to whoever is in office. And the same with mass incarceration. The Bureau of Justice statistics from just last September found that black adults are imprisoned at 5.3 times the rate of white adults in America. Talking about 1 in 54 black men is in prison right now today while I'm talking. The prison population in the United States of America went from 500,000, 500,000 in 1980 to 2.2 million in 2015, a 700% increase.
Some MAGA people who voted for harsh policies thinking they will hurt black Americans the most, I'm sure are shocked, frustrated, and even angry because black communities are not collapsing the way they expected. In fact, many black Americans are responding with something that's making certain MAGA supporters deeply uncomfortable: silence, adaptation, and survival. For years, some political rhetoric was built around the idea that cutting social programs like Obamacare, weakening protections, or reversing policies associated with President Barack Obama will somehow teach black Americans a lesson. But now, reality is setting in, and many MAGA voters are realizing those same policies are affecting rural white communities, working class families, seniors, and even the very voters who supported them. So, the question being asked online and in political discussion is, why are some people upset that black Americans are not suffering the way they expected? Let's break it down, fellow melanated people.
Let me look right into the camera and tell you very clearly, Republicans are the ones concerned about health care.
I'm sorry, what?
Republicans are the party working around the clock every day to fix health care.
How?
This is not talking points for us. We've done it.
You've done it. How?
A big part of the One Big Beautiful Bill, the Working Families Tax Cut, was to fix health care. Health care is broken in America. It's too expensive. The quality of care needs to rise.
Hey, we need to get real here. The Republicans have tried to repeal Obamacare, also known as the Affordable Care Act, dozens and dozens of times.
I have lots of ideas to do that.
You have filed lawsuits to strip protections for pre-existing conditions. You have expanded junk insurance plans. These plans did not have to comply with the ACA's consumer protections and could deny coverage for pre-existing conditions and essential health benefits. You want more? You have gutted Medicaid in your own red states. You have allowed insurers to charge higher premiums based on health status. The 2025 Republican budget reconciliation legislation includes cuts to Medicaid and expands work requirements for some recipients. Past state experiments with work requirements have shown that many eligible people, including those who are working, lose coverage due to administrative issues. Critics have also warned of the potential for reduced access to services in rural areas due to those funding cuts. So if you live in rural America, good luck. The Republicans don't want to end this shutdown. Why? Because they would have to negotiate with the Democrats to decrease your astronomically rising health insurance premiums. They don't want to do that because the billionaire overlords want those tax cuts. And guess what is going to help them to pay for that? Your premium. Your premium is going to rise to pay for billionaires' tax cuts. So own it, Mike Johnson. You guys wanted this, so you need to own it.
During the election campaign, I heard of Trump supporters who said something to the effect that they didn't mind if Obamacare was repealed, but they didn't want the Affordable Care Act touched. That was their health insurance provider, and they liked it, and they wanted it to remain. And I've been trying to think of a tactful way to break the bad news to them, because that's what I'm all about now. I'm trying to reinvent myself. In the past, I would have lashed out at them. I would have called them stupid or maggots or orcs. But now, I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be compassionate. This is the kinder, gentler Dell. Despite the fact that I am surrounded with seething stupidity. Okay, not going to go there. At any rate, I have come up with something and I want to run it past you guys. And you tell me how this sounds, okay? So here we go. This is what I've come up with. Hi there. You know who Snoop Dogg is. Hell, even I know who Snoop Dogg is. And I'm so out of touch with pop culture, I thought rage farming was some kind of organic chicken. Well, anyway, you do realize that Snoop Dogg is not his real name. It's not as if his mother, Mrs. Dog, went to the hospital and gave birth to a bouncing baby boy and decided to name him Snoop. No, his real name is Calvin Broadus Jr., but Snoop Dogg is like his stage name, his nom de plume, his street name, if you will. And a similar relationship exists between Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act. Obamacare is like the street name for the Affordable Care Act, but at the end of the day, they're one and the same. Just like Snoop Dogg and Calvin Broadus Jr., at the end of the day, are one and the same. And some of you, at least, are beginning to realize that you have made a terrible mistake, that you have voted for politicians who are now talking about repealing your health insurance. And I know this is happening because you're going to Google and you're typing in, "Can I change my vote?" Well, no, you can't change your vote. Voting is not like going to Walmart and buying a pair of nose hair trimmers and realizing you got the wrong size, so you have to take them back and get them exchanged for something else. You can't exchange your vote. There are no refunds. Your vote is your vote. However, there is one thing you can do. Now, if the politicians who you elected are talking about repealing your health insurance, and they actually succeed in this endeavor, you can do this one thing, and I say this entirely without rancor. I'm not trying to be sarcastic. I'm not trying to be a wise guy. This is what you can do. If they repeal your health insurance, you have this option. Don't get sick. That's it. Don't get sick. For the next 4 years, don't get sick. Because you can't afford to go to the doctor. Very expensive. Just don't get sick. Think about it this way. Remember when you were a kid and you were in the car with mom and dad on one of those long road trips and dad was driving and you had to pee real bad, but dad didn't want to stop, so you just had to hold it in? Well, that's what you have to do now. If you get sick, you just have to hold it in for the next 4 years. Okay? Just hold it in until we can get somebody in the White House who might reinstate your health insurance. I know that's not the news you were wanting to hear, but that's all I got. So I'm done. I'm out of here. Good luck and goodbye.
Hey y'all, it's Makeda from Amplified Noir, and we're back wrapping up our discussion on this article from the New York Times, talking about the loss of subsidies for Obamacare, ACA, marketplace plans, and let's talk right now what we can do about it. So in the last video, we talked about midterm elections and the importance of them and how it relates to this. But for yourself and your families, it's preventative healthcare is going to be key. And that's going to be healthcare and lifestyle choices, right? So that's going to be, as always, vaccines, right? Vaccines are a major player in preventative healthcare. Make sure you're up to date on your vaccines. It's very important. If you have concerns about vaccines, talk to your provider. And I will be doing a lot of education on vaccines because I do work in communicable disease and immunization. So that's a topic I love. But yeah, vaccines are key with preventative care. Another thing, lifestyle choices, is going to be your movement, your exercise. If you don't have regular movement in your daily routine, start get it in there today. And the easiest thing you could do is just go for a walk, right? And let your walk get longer and longer. I know the weighted vests are very, very, very popular. You don't have to have one of those. You just get your heart rate up. It's important. Find something fun that you like to engage in that helps you move your body. And then that's going to go right into your diet. Make sure you're getting nutrient dense foods. That's what's going to keep you healthy. All right. Nutrient dense foods. If you're going to be eating, make sure that it's quality that you're putting in your body, because we're trying to also maintain healthy weight. A lot of health problems stem out of obesity. Okay. And that's just that. So healthy diet, movement, maintaining a healthy weight. One other thing, manage your stress. Manage your stress, because those high cortisol rates are gonna cause problems. So if you stay in fight or flight all day, every day, no bueno. So manage your stress. And we'll talk more about how to do so. But you could just go back to that walk. That walk's gonna help you manage your stress. It will. And stay in community. Stay in community. It is so good for your overall well-being to stay in community. And also a lot of information gets shared when we stay in community about resources that are out there and things that you can tap into. So if you are one of those individuals who has had a hike in their insurance premiums due to the lack of the subsidies, it's key. And if you are a privately insured individual through your job, it's also key, okay? Because all of our costs are going up. And as you know, the cost of living, gas, food, everything is getting higher. But yeah, stick around, like, follow, share. This is Amplify Noir. We're here to keep Black women healthy, happy, and thriving. So check me out in the next video. We'll be doing articles mostly for the month of May. All right, talk to you soon.
I'm sorry, man. This real life? This can't be real life right now. So I just saw the video of the guy who was saying that he voted for DT because he was going to get rid of Obamacare. He didn't like Obamacare, and he was voting to get rid of it. And he said he wasn't worried because he's unemployed, he's on disability, he's disabled. And he got his insurance through the Affordable Care Act. And when he said it, the guy was like, you know those are the same things, right? And the look on his face, I kid you not. So he literally spazzed it out like, why would you name them two different things? So the guy's like, you literally voted to cancel your health insurance, the thing you depend on right now. God, I can't believe, like, this is what I'm looking forward to personally. The lives that are going to come over the next few years. This is what I'm looking forward to. This is my silver lining, because the jokes are just going to write themselves over the next couple years. It's funny, but it's not funny. Especially, working in healthcare, working as a healthcare provider, I understand how important it is for people to have their insurance to be able to take care of themselves. But I'm sorry, the literal definition of voting against your own best interest. You have insurance through the Affordable Care Act, but you voted to get your insurance canceled. This can't be real life.
Alright. The math is just ain't mathing right now. So let me get this straight. Immigrants that has never worked in this country, never lived in this country, never paid not one goddamn bill in this country, they are receiving 3 bands monthly. And for all you old folk that don't know what bands is, that's money. 3,000 monies. I said monies. Free health care. Free food. Room and board. And free housing. Meanwhile, Americans has to go to work, have to pay bills, have to pay for taxes, have to file taxes, have to pay for groceries, and have to pay for rent. Knowing good and goddamn motherfucking well, all of this shit is rising higher than motherfucking blood fucking pressure. Not only that, it is officially illegal to be homeless. But here's the crazy part though. All them shit the immigrants is getting. Oh, we ain't getting that shit. So I think I speak for every English-speaking motherfucking American. That includes black, white, Asian, anybody that was born in America. I think I speak for every motherfucker. That includes the motherfucking kids. When I say what in the blue fuck is this? Crazy part about it is the veterans that busted they motherfucking asses, ate the nastiest of fucking food, lost every bit of they fucking mind, have lost limbs, seen they friends die, and become motherfucking homeless. So, if an American becomes homeless, we get put in the slammer. Okay. If an immigrant is homeless, they get free health care, $3,000, free housing, and all that other bullshit. I
I got one question. If you're angry and you know it, clap your motherfucking hands.
Did the Senate just end ACA? And the uncomfortable answer is not on paper, but yes in reality. Here's what actually happened. The Senate didn't vote to repeal Obamacare. No, they did something much smarter and much more dangerous. They refused to extend the subsidies. The only thing that makes ACA plans affordable for 21 million Americans. Subsidies aren't a detail. They are the ACA. Without those subsidies, premiums explode. Middle-class families lose coverage, insurers pull out, and the ACA marketplace collapses under its own weight. This is exactly what healthcare economists call the death spiral. Republicans didn't repeal Obamacare. They're letting it starve. Democrats brought a bill to extend the subsidies. Republicans blocked it. Then they brought their own healthcare bill, which, surprise, also did not extend subsidies. And that one failed as well. And now, the clock runs out. The subsidies disappear. Premiums spike in January. Millions get priced out. It's the end of the ACA without ever voting to end the ACA. Trump already told us the plan. Obamacare is too expensive. We will terminate it. This is the strategy. Don't repeal it just to fund the part that keeps it alive and blame Democrats for the fallout, of course. So they didn't kill the law. They pulled out the plug on the life support. So if you're wondering, wait, is this even real? Yeah, that's how it works. You don't destroy institutions directly. You weaken them until they collapse and then tell the public it was inevitable or the Democrats' fault. The part that keeps families alive is gone unless something drastic happens. And that's the story no one is looking into right now. So in January, your premiums are going to skyrocket.
How about that? The House of Representatives just defied the Republican leadership and passed a bill that would restore those ACA healthcare subsidies for 3 more years for about 24 million Americans. That happened today because 17 Republicans crossed party lines. But don't get excited yet. Your healthcare subsidy isn't available yet. And I'm going to tell you why in a second. But first, you have to understand what's going on and how we got here. Obviously, by now you know that as of January 1st, health insurance premiums have skyrocketed. That is because of rising healthcare costs, but it's also because the Affordable Care Act enhanced premium tax credits are gone because Congress allowed them to expire on December 31st. Republicans wanted them gone. Democrats have been fighting to restore them. And as I told you in this video back in December, House Democrats pulled off this very rare feat. They crafted a discharge petition to extend those ACA subsidies with no changes for 3 more years. That discharge petition reached the magic number of 218 signatures because 4 Republicans crossed party lines and signed it over the objection of the House Speaker. The discharge petition went to the House floor today, and we saw Republican support for that subsidy extension grow from 4 Republicans to 17 Republicans who now say they support those ACA subsidies.
For years, some political commentators pushed the idea that government assistance programs mainly benefited Black Americans. Programs like the Affordable Care Act, often nicknamed Obamacare, became politically controversial, partly because many people associated them with President Obama himself. But here's the reality many experts and studies pointed out. The Affordable Care Act helped millions of Americans across every race, especially working class and rural communities. Ironically, many counties that benefited heavily from healthcare expansion were also strong supporters of Donald Trump. Yet during political debates, some voters treated removing Obamacare almost like undergoing something that was supposedly created only for Black Americans. That misunderstanding became deeply emotional and cultural. For some people, opposing Obama-era policies became symbolic, not just political, but personal. What's frustrating certain MAGA supporters today is that many Black Americans already developed survival mechanisms long ago. Black communities in America have historically dealt with segregation, economic exclusion, housing discrimination, job discrimination, unequal schools, mass incarceration, redlining, and voter suppression. Because of that history, many Black families learn how to survive instability across generations. So, when economic hardship hits America broadly, many Black Americans often react differently than people expected. Not because suffering does not exist, but because adaptation has been part of the experience for a long time. Meanwhile, some white Americans who once believed they were insulated from hardship are now facing rising healthcare costs, inflation, job insecurity, farm labor shortages, hospital closures, and cuts to local services. And for some, it is emotionally difficult to realize the policies they supported are affecting them too. One uncomfortable truth emerging online is this: some political conversations were never just about policy. They were about punishment. There were people who genuinely believed that if these programs disappear, Black Americans will be hit hardest. But what happens when that prediction does not play out the way they imagined? That creates frustration because politically, some people expected visible collapse, more desperation, more dependence, and more public outrage. Instead, many Black Americans appear emotionally detached from the chaos, and that silence is confusing some observers, especially because historically, America often expected Black Americans to be the loudest responders during national crisis. Now Black Americans are saying they want people and nobody listened. There is a growing conversation online that some Americans are unsettled by the lack of reaction. No massive emotional panic, no begging for acceptance, no desperate attempts to prove loyalty. Instead, many Black Americans are focusing on community support, entrepreneurship, online businesses, local organizing, financial literacy, cultural influence, and mental disengagement from toxic political spaces. To some MAGA voters, this feels unsettling because the expectation was different. They expected dependency, but what they are seeing instead is distance. And psychologically, that changes the power dynamic. One of the biggest ironies in modern American politics is how many people benefited from Obamacare while simultaneously opposing it. Some voters reportedly supported repealing the Affordable Care Act without realizing it was the same healthcare coverage helping their own families, because the branding became political. The name Obama carried emotional weight. And for some Americans, anything associated with Obama automatically became controversial, regardless of whether it helped them personally. Over time, many people discovered rural hospitals depended on Affordable Care Act funding, working class families used Affordable Care Act protections, pre-existing condition protection mattered, and prescription cost reform helped millions. And suddenly, the conversation became more complicated than simple political slogans. What we may actually be witnessing is a cultural shift in America. For decades, political narratives often centered around Black struggles as a national spectacle. But today, many Black Americans are choosing something different. Less emotional investment in proving humanity to people determined not to understand. And that shift changes the emotional expectations some Americans had. Because historically, parts of America were used to Black communities reacting publicly to injustice, demanding recognition, or trying to persuade skeptics. Now, many are simply observing, adapting, disengaging, and building quietly. And that emotional distance is creating anxiety in some political spaces. At the end of the day, economic hardship affects everybody. Healthcare cuts affect everybody, inflation affects everybody, and political division affects everybody. And many Americans are now realizing that policies driven by anger, resentment, or punishment rarely stay confined to one group. The bigger lesson may be this: a society cannot build political movement around the idea of making certain citizens suffer without eventually harming itself too. And perhaps what's most surprising to some people today is not that Black Americans face challenges. It is that many are no longer centering their lives around seeking approval, validation, or emotional reaction from people who expected them to break. That silence is speaking louder than many expected. Thank you for watching. This is Mercy Realities.